Hey, everybody, welcome. Industrial Strength Podcast. My name is Randy. I'm a hazmat specialist. I got 18 years on an industrial fire department, mainly doing hazmat. And this is a podcast about industrial hazmat, industrial fire departments. With me, I have my two co-hosts, and today we have a very special guest as well. But with me, as usual, are my co-hosts Jeff and Steve.
Hey, I'm Jeff. I'm the goofball with a couple years experience. Steven?
I'm Steve, and I think no other introductions are needed for me. We will point our way to the guest of honor.
Guest. Agreed.
Yes.
He is royalty here.
He is. That's
So with us today, we have none other than
red
Bobby
carpet.
Salvesen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hazmat Guys.
Bobby.
Honestly, we've been talking about you guys and your show now, seriously, for almost a year. I met you guys at Walmart?
No, Michigan Hazmat Conference, I think.
Michigan. And met these guys at the bar. Immediately, I said, these guys are clowns.
Yep.
That we are. I don't know
And
if we have another credit to our name.
They're
At least
perfect.
I don't.
I just told Mike, I said, we're gonna have to get you guys on the show because you said something at the end of the last episode, and it was about like inflatable PPE and waiters, and I was like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're working on putting that together because, like I said, we'd love to be on the show talk.
We are working on that amongst many other things.
But today we're here to talk about something.
So much detail there. Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I think it's going to be very enlightening for a lot of people, like what an industry does for PPE that is completely different than industrial and mutual, or,
Absolutely.
municipal hazmat. But today we're here to talk about something different, right? So the industrial PPE will come a different episode, but today we're going to talk about certifications, and this is something that was very eye-opening to me. I didn't, once again, out of the blue. So background, our industrial department, we use ProBoard.
We do.
And
For
and I
some
was having-
things, yep.
I was having a conversation with Bobby, and Bobby was saying that there might be some competition or ProBoard that I wasn't aware of, and this is me, I think, going to be a very important and upcoming thing. I wanted to have him on to talk about this. So other people who aren't aware of it, they get on board. So early adoption.
So, Bobby, what besides ProBoard, what else is out there?
Well, I think before we get into that, we should really talk about ProBoard itself.
Okay, Steve. Well, why don't
fair enough.
You got some thoughts on it?
Because, there's a somewhat misconception, I think, about ProBoard. Everyone kind of tends to think ProBoard, it's registered no matter where you go. It's if you're in New York and you move to California, you're already certified no matter what because you're ProBoard.
Right.
But even within the U.S., not all 50 states necessarily recognize ProBoard certification, and if you were to move to a territory or another country, you're still not certified necessarily unless they recognize the ProBoard, which I never really realized until the last maybe couple of years.
Yeah, so originally I thought ProBoard was more international. I thought most places really recognize that ProBoard.
I absolutely agree. I thought it was you're certified as a ProBoard. You can go anywhere in the whole world and be certified no matter what.
I mean,
Yeah,
I thought it was
that's
more of a standardization.
Yeah,
Period.
and that's kind of what was built our department when we started incorporating it.
Yep.
That is true, but it's not really the case because I want to say there's only, and someone out there might know better than me, probably does in most cases. I want to say it's only like 30 something or low 40s of the 50 states recognize ProBoard, let alone international.
It's not even universal for the U.S. Okay.
Well, so and again, I don't work for Pro Board. I don't know very much, but I know what I know is that Pro Board is a testing service. So they make sure that the testing at the end of the class is being delivered in the proper manner. Right? So they don't really, I'm not going to say this is absolutely true. They don't say, I'm not going to say hey, listen, give us your outlines. But they teach to the testing criteria.
That is true. And
Fair enough. Yep.
And what I will say it in the phrasing of someone that I just recently learned as an instructor, a highly regarded instructor of non-hazmat form of the Pro Board, was not everyone necessarily is for the Pro Board anymore, unless your company or municipal department requires it, is because it's made up of ex-fire chiefs who basically want to make the rules for everything and just make a standard for what the testing is. It's not necessarily the best anymore like it used to be when it was initiated.
I don't know about that, but I will say that it's not about the curriculum. I mean, obviously they're going to want to see your curriculum because they're not going to want to waste their time coming in to see like a totally, truly terrible curriculum. They're like, you're obviously not making good operations or technician people, but at the same time, there's nothing nationally recognized about Pro Board. It's a club.
And that's kind of the essence of what that person told us was it's a club. It's put together by certain people. It does require a minimum criteria as a standard, which kind of makes it a nice thing across the country, at least, that you have to meet that minimum criteria for testing regulations. But aside from that, that minimum criteria could be something that was set 30 years ago with equipment that's obsolete, but we still teach on it because it meets that minimum. Whereas the other options possibly could give some true learning experiences with the new equipment that most departments use, but it's just not Pro Board.
So are we saying that Pro Board is bare minimum?
They all are bare minimum.
Right.
They all are minimum competency to be proficient.
That's exactly. They're on the same level as everyone else as far as what you expect, no matter what, for the minimum passing level. But Pro Board has that. They kind of have that expectation that they're a little above and beyond in most areas, but that's just a group of. It's kind of like our government in the U.S., where it's senators or governors or whatever on a committee. They set that expectation for the entire country, but not everyone necessarily under state regulations prescribe to that.
No, and there's you always have the AHJ, right? The authority having jurisdiction. The chief of your fire department or agency, they can say, yeah, that works. And that's it. That's the end of the story. But we had, obviously from my accent, you can tell I'm from New York, the area. And we had guys that left our fire department and went to like Iowa. And they brought their certificate. And I'm not going to say the name of the certificate, but it was a rather large organization. They said, here's my technician. And they're like, that's adorable. What else do you have? Because that means nothing.
Yeah. That's
and
rough.
Because there was that AHJ did not recognize that certificate. It meant nothing. And so what the Pro Board and IFSAC, that's another big one that has said, hey, we're going to go cross AHJs. We're going to say, hey, we're going to go across jurisdictions. We're going to go through. We're going to say this certification works across many different jurisdictions. And people have bought into it. And that's cool. That's cool. But there's another one that's coming up that's called JOIFF.
Okay.
JOIFF. They are huge in Europe and Middle East and actually Africa and Asia and pretty much everywhere that's not the North Americas. And I gotta say, I'm looking into it more and more, and it's like very impressive. It's not an exclusive club. It's like, oh, I could be in this thing. Teeks is in this, and please, Teeks, if you're not interested in presenting that to people.
But Teeks is a big training organization.
Yes, it is.
So they have a lot of people flowing through there and working with them.
And, you know, to put it in perspective, for those of us who aren't just hazmat specific, those of us based in the U.S., I would kind of consider NFPA like the original. It's the Super Bowl for football. It's the one and only championship.
Right. That
was originally. But now you look at it and you go down to like the college level where there's so many different levels of the championship. It's kind of like, let's put the National Registry out there for EMS providers. If you were a NREMT, you thought you were the level initially.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
But come to find out, you could be NREMT certified and you move from one state to the other and you still have to go through your state certification levels.
So that is a true statement.
All about what jurisdiction you were in. Kind of like the college football playoffs and the FBS versus the FCS level of multiple levels.
And some chiefs, like fire departments, the chief changes every 2 years.
Yeah.
So let me ask this to you, Bobby, about JOIFF. What are the advantages, or are there distinct advantages? I mean, obviously it's working in Teeks, they're using it. So how is it comparable, better, or worse than what we know as Pro Board? Like why would this come in and work better?
I'm just learned about this about a week and a half ago. And so they got some pretty cool newsletters, networking, just like everybody else does. But it seems to be a little bit more inclusive.
Right, that in itself is better because Pro Board is very like secular. Right? So you either earned it or you haven't, and it's hard to understand the inner workings of it.
I mean, to be honest, I think all of us on here have earned it. I don't necessarily understand the inner workings of it even by a long shot.
Yeah, right. You get it, and then you got it. And that's it.
Maybe something where they actually have newsletters and invite you to their events or maybe the committees. That sounds more collaborative. That sounds better, like a way of harmonizing kind of across jurisdictions.
Yeah, and I'm not even like saying this is cool and not cool, but like because they're a European thing, like for me as an American, they're like, oh, they're having something in Dublin. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll go over to Dublin. That doesn't sound like it sucks too bad. I got something in Dubai. Oh, okay.
If somebody's paying for it, I'll go over there. Absolutely.
I don't know.
At least the locations sound fantastic. But like I said, if it is collaborative, I think that's going to be a better way of going. Because once again, if Pro Board was set for forever ago or set based on cheap, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't know how up to date they can be and how collaborative they are in the efforts. Because I think if you get to that kind of level where you're on a steering committee, how in touch are you with frontline responders and how frontline works? Like what their needs are, especially in an evolving world with, like, let's say lithium-ion batteries, right? So it's a big topic last couple of years. Yep. How in touch are you with that stuff if you're on that kind of steering committee? When's the last time any of those chiefs dealt with that situation?
Yep. But of all these committees, I'm trying to do a little bit of research on this. how much of that is based on the oil and gas industry?
Good amount.
And so what's the pull on that? I mean, not pull, P-O-L-L, the pull, P-U-L-L. The gas and oil industry have a huge.
I love that because you talk to the guys with the 4 gas meter and they're like, well, us in the fire department and the emergency services, what I want chlorine. They're like, yeah, we'll put chlorine in there and that's no problem. It's another $5,000. And you're like, wait, what? That's crazy. Why? I don't want hydrogen sulfide. They're like, the industry wants it. And you say, well, we're the fire department. Why don't we get what we want? Because you are nothing.
Because the fun fact about that is that actual sensor, if you buy it separately before the reprogramming, is about $100, maybe $200 at most.
For them to change for the fire department, we are like 0.1% of their entire sales. It's all industry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Even though we are the majority of the users. That's the sad thing.
But like even the certifications, right? Mm-hmm. Us going through certifications, do you need it? No, you don't need it. And a vast majority of the industry doesn't need it. I'll give you a quick thing that we heard the other day is that there was I'll leave it as generic as possible as I can because I don't want to misquote it or smoke them out. There was a fire department, could have been industrial, could have been emergency response like us, and they said, we don't have any real firefighters. And we're like, what do you mean? Well, we don't have anybody that's firefighter 1. So who's riding the rig? Well, just guys that put on gear.
Ooh.
Wait. But you're just talking firefighter 1, not even 2?
They don't have a single person in their fire department that is certified.
Oh, oy.
They're riding around in the fire trucks.
Okay.
Hey, it's Halloween. Dress up whatever you want to be.
But the thing, the thing is, you go from that, which is a 13-person volunteer fire department operation, right? Which, by United States federal law, they're supposed to have operations level training.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't even have fire. They don't even have to put on the gear. Sheesh. All the way up to, let's say, a company like 3M or Amazon or whatever is having people handle with chemicals on a regular basis with possibly not the right stuff.
That's kind of scary, actually, thinking about it.
It's really scary.
I mean, very nervous for some.
The fact that you have big companies out there dealing with those chemicals on an everyday basis that may or may not be trained to the level that certain people are that deal with it all the time is stunning. And you get the somewhat standard across industries where companies, like if you're from the Midwest, Eli might be fire 1 and 2, hazmat, operations level, and paramedic or EMTB at the minimum certified as their minimum qualifications to other companies that, like you said, they're not firefighter 1 or 2. They may or may not be hazmat operations, let alone technician level, which is what you should be dealing with those chemicals.
Right. Mm-hmm. But even like a Dow Chemical, they're hazmat tech. They're hazmat tech.
Yeah, but they either mix it bag too because their sites they also incorporate like security or law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what's scary coming from the industry side of things is even within the industry of, you say the top 10 companies that deal with chemical hazards on a daily basis, I would say we're one of them, and we're not even necessarily in all trades. Hazmat-wise, we are, because we are required to be hazmat technician pro board in our area.
Yeah.
And that's a company choice at our site.
Dude,
but
I'll give
in
you
other aspects of it, we're not. We're not even in the top for, say, EMS side of things. So
I'll give you
it's weird how different things are company to company.
Another industrial chemical company, and they said, this is through a friend of a friend, we'll say. They were saying that they are not allowed to do hazmat RIT operations because there's too much liability to it. So if they do entry, here, listen to what I'm saying. If they do entry, then the liability of them doing the actual extrication is more than the liability of the lawsuit.
But I have so many questions on this one, but I'm going to start with, if they're a hazmat team that does entries, what level of certification do they go through?
40 OSHA HAZWOPER.
Okay, so it's HAZWOPER. So they technically should not be allowed to actually go downrange and mitigate that circumstance.
I'm not saying anything.
I will not speak to any companies what they're doing right or wrong here, but I'm just saying
that.
Stephen, that is a correct statement.
But this might be an excellent example of how something like the JOIFF might come collaboratively.
Absolutely.
Say that a RIT team is the standard. You have to have it.
You have interpretations based upon the person. Like, I'll give you a great example. There was a guy. This is two quick examples. One guy says, I haven't opened my level A suits. They're still in the box, still in the plastic, and they're past their expiration. Are they still good?
What? No.
And I said, no, absolutely not. He goes, yeah, but they haven't been opened.
But here's two different sides of this.
They still need to get tested, though.
Every year.
But not everybody knows that.
Correct.
Oh, man.
Here's the two different sides of that I would say. Not everybody knows that. I would say probably, and I don't want to quote out there for everyone, but I would say probably you're running the line of 50% of municipal departments probably actually abide by those rules as far as they know what truly should be.
Not this
I can tell you for certain.
All right, so
again, you have NFPA and OSHA. So
but
two
let's play
different things.
Stephen, let's play the devil's advocate. You were to have an injury, God forbid of death, OSHA's going to come in there. Mm-hmm. Well, when was the suit tested?
I'm not disagreeing.
This is past expiration date. I mean, OSHA's going to write fines left and right.
I absolutely agree with you. I'm not disputing that one bit. I'm not disputing it from an industrial side or a municipal side, and I'm not saying either one's right or wrong.
Oh,
I would just say that
I'm just playing the devil's advocate. So
certain areas do know better than others, and I would say in our case, at least, the industrial side of things, we're probably, I would say, in the entire country, I would put us up against the best 10% of anybody as far as what we know and what we do.
I'll give you one more. And I'll personally close on this one, is that let's say you got an operations level guy.
Okay.
And you can add on all these mission specific competencies. Let's say I train my guys into all the mission specific competencies. I can have them operate as technicians, right?
Oh, that's the thing. How much is your AHJ 1 and 2 off?
That depends on what your definition of operate as is, because I agree but disagree at the same time.
Right, I agree. I agree with that and disagree with that statement too.
By standards of certification level, no. But as the guy who probably knew 95+% of what we do as a technician, Just as an industry operator, before even getting into the hazmat world,
this
I
is
agree.
not allowed. The difference between a mission-specific competency and a technician level is in the matter of multiple pages.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't even know if it's in multiple pages versus just multiple words in the definition of a sentence. It all depends on what you're going off of, a certificate or what they actually know.
If you were to have something, if the shit were to hit the fan and OSHA's come in, do you have that paper?
Right. That's what it comes down to. Is liability.
Right. Yeah. OSHA will write that up in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they tend to get all of us, no matter what realm we're in.
Well, they will, but
because they are there for our safety.
But I guess here's the thing: if they're going to get you, they're going to get you. But are you trying to do the right thing?
Correct.
Right? Are you trying to?
What's your intent?
Corners?
And here's my thing.
So there's that intent. Yes.
I could be honest. I could care less what OSHA brings down on me. You could bring the heaviest fines. I'm still going to do what I think is right to save the lives of the people that I think need saving.
I'm going to give you a pushback on that. Even is that people say, I'm cool with that, but I've seen chiefs and officers and bosses go, well, the job will indemnify me. They will throw you under the bus as fast as they can throw you under the bus.
That doesn't matter what position you're in. You could be the probie.
Right.
Yeah.
The probie, the guy that just made probie is 2 years in. Who cares?
What I say is learn the rules, and then you can do what the hell you want.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. That is a true statement.
And the fact that it's up to interpretation of the rules, some guys could spin those interpretations. Ooh, they could do it with the best of lawyers.
Oh, that's me, baby.
You can't BS a BSer. That's all I got to say on that one.
I think like every firehouse has got that guy, though.
I am that guy.
It doesn't matter if
two on ours. Yep.
Municipal or industrial. Every fire department's got that guy. But
it is up for interpretation. But when that shit hits fan and OSHA's there, you're going to have to talk to these people saying, I did X, Y, and Z because of ABC.
It's absolutely true. And you know what? Although the sad thing is you got to face that side of things where you have to justify yourself in every manner, those situations are the same time you're going to find that guy that goes, I don't give a shit what the rules said on X, Y, and Z. I did this because it's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
It may have been the best thing to do. However, because of C, D, and Y, we're writing you this $150,000 fine. Yeah.
But that's the difference between sometimes a dynamic situation requires a dynamic answer, and not every certification that's ever been written cover every scenario. Not possible.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everything written anywhere talks about everything. It covers in a black and white statement.
But I think it's
really the internet told me that.
If we don't.
All right, so one thing we did not discuss in this, and this may be for another topic way down the road, what are the retraining certifications to continue that certification on that? Pro board, IFTAC, any of them. So
let's be honest here. I think we got a little off topic here. I think there may be a part 2 coming where we actually break down the in-depth version of all those alternative certifications we have other than NFPA.
I think you're right, Steve. I think this is like a good introduction to make people aware that there are other things other than Pro Board looming. But I think we need an episode 2 where we really get into the weeds and do a head-to-head comparison about how they all work.
Absolutely, because I'll be clear. Myself personally, I still want to go get Pro Board certified in anything that I can because it gives me that level of expectation. But I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
that
because
is
that's
the
what we're
way-
used to.
Well, I'm not even saying that that's the ultimate way to do things, let alone the only way to do things. There are those alternatives out there that I think could be beneficial to other areas depending on what your actual goal is.
Right. Agreed.
All right, well, then stay tuned. We'll do a part 2, right? We'll do a little research, do a little digging. Let's bring the information to everybody, right?
Absolutely, and I
again.
think willingly, Bobby may join us for that part 2 because he probably has a little
I
more
would love
insight
to.
than we do.
I
And
would
Bobby,
love
we
to.
do appreciate you joining.
Yeah,
Our
thank
show.
you very much.
Oh,
It's been a
yeah,
great
My
time to have you
pleasure.
on.
You guys are the bomb.
Absolutely. It may be the first one broadcast, but this is not the actual first episode we've recorded together, believe it or not. There may or
Yep.
may not be a reel coming in the bloopers in the future.
Gonna be a blooper.
Sorry.
Oh
of
gosh, I hope
terrible
that. I
things.
really hope that episode does go away.
Oh, it's not going away permanently, regardless, believe me.
But thank
It
you,
might be
Bobby.
a
We
blooper,
appreciate
yeah.
you coming on, man.
It's so
It's been a
warm.
blast.
Why is it so
Like I said-
warm?
I
Like I
love
said,
you guys.
we're gonna be on your
Thanks,
show
Steven.
here hopefully shortly. We're gonna talk about some
You're welcome,
industrial
Jeffrey.
PPE.
Yeah.
So looking
Well-
forward to doing that too.
Hazmat
All right,
Hunter.
so
You know what? As
Yes.
always, we appreciate the viewing and the joining
Absolutely.
us of our. Well, I could say the conceptualizer at this point, since we talked about it with Bobby.
all right, so Randy, in the
Yes, sir.
future, how can they reach out to us?
Okay, so you can always leave a comment on YouTube videos if that's what you're watching. You could always email us at hazmatharder@gmail.com. And then if I'm not mistaken, there is also a website which will link back to us, so you can leave a message that way too at hazmatharder.com. Is that correct, Steve? Did I get that all messed up?
That is correct. You could also email us at industrialstrength@thehazmatguys.com, which will
It is.
include us, including our founder company here, our parent company with the Hazmat Guys, which is a great website to check out if you're not
It is.
if you're not in the know. They are I would say one of the leading groups
Yeah,
in both training. Got a bunch of different trainings out there that we can't provide, and a
True.
conference coming up here in a couple months. I don't know if it's fully booked
But if-
yet or not.
Yeah,
In
but
a
if not,
great
people
location.
should definitely slide down there because it's going to be a bunch of knowledgeable people talking about what we're all involved in.
It's one that I wish I could attend, but unfortunately, this is one that I can't just due to timing wise.
Yeah,
but
man,
if
you
it
got
was,
to-
it would be
got another
the
class
training that I would go
It
to.
would be the training that you need to attend. Yes, if
It's
you
the
can.
training of the year, if not the decade, that I would go to.
All right, I think I covered
So
it.
thanks,
if people
Bobby.
can reach out. Yeah, thank you, Bobby. Love having you on. Like I said, we'd love to be on your show, so we'll get our notes together for some industrial PPE and let you know when we're available.
All right, rock on, guys.
Our next show, we may have another guest on. That's TBD.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. We got a few guests in the wakes there. In addition to maybe our guest speaker of Bobby. So who knows?
Who knows? It's TBD.
Right, yeah. Until next time, everybody. Stay hazmat harder.
Hazmat harder.